Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 underrated books. So I did a video kind of similar to this a little while ago that I'll link down below, and that was my top 5 underhyped books. So the difference is that being underhyped books, those were just books that I loved that not many people had read. Top 5 underrated books, which is what I'm doing today, is going to be books that I really loved that have kind of like a low-ish rating overall on Goodreads. So I've tried to go with books that had an average rating of 3.5 or under. So books that it seems like a lot of people just kind of feel so-so about, like they were okay, but they're books that I loved and rated 5 stars. So the first one is The New Animals by Pip Adam. This book has an average Goodreads rating of 3.43, which is not bad, but it's still closer to 3 stars than it is to 4 stars, and I absolutely loved this book. So this is a literary fiction novel. It's by a New Zealand author. It's set in Auckland, which is a big city here in New Zealand, and it's about a group of people that are trying to put together a fashion photo shoot, and it's kind of a character-driven novel. You just get in the heads of all these different people and the different things that they're dealing with, and it ends up being about environmental issues as well, which was really interesting, and I just loved this book. I have a full review of it, which I will link down below, and I said when I reviewed it that I could totally understand some people absolutely hating this book, and then there'll be others like me that absolutely love it. It really just depends what you like. Reasons I think people wouldn't like it or would have given it kind of an average rating is that the writing is a little bit unusual, and that it's kind of a stream of consciousness format, and it hops between different characters without much warning. So that I can imagine would be confusing or annoying for some people. And then also just the last like third of this book is really weird, and I loved that. It completely surprised me. It was so weird, but I can understand some people might just think it's too weird and not really enjoy it. So yeah. The next underrated book is a Penguin Little Black classic, and this is The Figure in the Carpet by Henry James. This one is a short story about a guy that really wants to solve this mystery with an author. So there's an author who writes books, and a lot of people think there's like this big riddle behind all of them, like this hidden meaning. So this guy basically goes to a party, I think, to try and talk to the author and try and figure out the hidden meaning. And I don't want to say too much more than that because it's a short story, it would spoil it, but I really liked this short story. I think possibly the ending might have frustrated some people, and that's why it's got kind of a low rating. Did I say what it was? It's got an average Goodreads rating of 3.38. So again, not terrible, but I really loved this story, so I'm surprised that it's got kind of an average rating. The next one is a YA contemporary novel, and it is This Is Where the World Ends by Amy Zhang. I cried so hard reading this book when I first read it. I've been kind of wanting to reread it, but I'm kind of scared because it was so sad the first time. But it's about two friends called Janie and Mika. They're secret friends, so for whatever reason Janie doesn't want people to know that she's friends with Mika. I think from what I remember when I first read this a couple years ago, and other people were reading it as well, a lot of the things I heard about why people didn't like it, which by the way I keep forgetting to tell you the average rating. The average rating is 3.35. The reason I think that is that people really don't like Janie. She's a really nasty kind of person, and it's very like, this is a very melodramatic teen angst kind of book. So at the same time, like, I can get why people wouldn't like that as well, but I thought it was really beautiful. The next one is one that I feel like is a bit not controversial, but people really didn't like this book, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It's one in a series, and it is Mad About the Boy by Helen Fielding. So this is one of the Bridget Jones books. It was the 3rd Bridget Jones book, so this came out probably at least 10 years after the last one. So you've got Bridget Jones's Diary, Bridget Jones The Edge of Reason, and this one is Bridget Jones Mad About the Boy. The confusing thing about it is that this came out around the same time as the movie Bridget Jones's Baby, and Bridget Jones's Baby actually takes place before this book. So they're written out of order because the Bridget Jones's Baby book came out after the movie. So yeah, that would have annoyed some people. And just the fact that, so Bridget Jones's Baby is obviously when Bridget Jones has a baby. This book is when Bridget Jones is even older, and I think she's got a couple of kids in this book. if I remember correctly, and it's that her kids are probably not teens, but they're in like that pre-teen age, so it's like quite a bit of time later. The average Goodreads rating for this one is 3.34. And like I said, I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I just can't get enough of Bridget Jones. It's one of those things I feel like a lot of people probably felt like they just shouldn't have brought it back. They should have just left it with Edge of Reason. But I love Bridget Jones. As long as they keep bringing out more stories about Bridget Jones, I will read them and watch them. There's a character in it that is, you know, from the previous books or movies, whatever, who is dead. So I feel like a lot of people would have been resentful at that as well, because it's a well-loved character, but I still love this book regardless. My final book has the lowest average rating of all of these, and it's another Penguin Little Black classic. It is A Hippo Banquet by Mary Henrietta Kingsley. This one, again, I gave 5 stars, but it has an average Goodreads rating of 3.2, which I think is so like unfairly low. This is actually a non-fiction short story kind of thing. Mary Kingsley was an explorer. She would travel to places like Africa, and she would keep journals of her observations and things like that. And this was in like the 1800s, so the fact that she was a female explorer itself is just really cool. I think that's awesome. And she has this really funny tone to her writing as well, so it's not really dry non-fiction, it's actually really entertaining. So even though she's just writing these observations about different animals and stuff that she's seeing, it's really, really entertaining. Reasons why people might have given it kind of an average or a low rating, I think perhaps with the Little Black classics, the non-fiction ones, people don't like them as much. Another thing is that she does observations of people as well, so like some of the different people in Africa that she came across, and it's the 1800s, so as an English woman, her perspective is not the best. Those are my top 5 underrated books. If you've read any of them, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did you give them a high rating or a low rating or a mediocre rating? If you're going to be picking any of them up, make sure you let me know, and you know, keep me updated, tell me what you think of them. Also, if there are any books that you have given a high rating that you know has like kind of an average rating, let me know what those are. I would love to know and compare thoughts with you. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you with another video in a couple of days. Bye.